Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to the number 61 Progressive Rock channel on YouTube. Here on the Myth of Logic channel.
It's another down or up. I think we moved down.
We moved up just a hair. We moved up just a hair. Welcome to another spine-tingling and relatively incoherent episode of Long Tracks and Tall Tales. As usual, I'm your host, Scott G. Davis, and your other host, my guy over here, Mr. Christopher Clark, my good friend and drummer. As usual, we are here to chat with you about a few news items, but mostly we're going to talk about, we're moving along in our coverage of live Rush albums, and we are up to Rush in Rio. Very much a mixed bag, some good, some bad, but we'll get to that.
Pros and cons on this one.
Yep. It is Rush, so there's stuff to enjoy there. First of all, we got a few news bits. Let's talk about Michael for a second here. You want to chime in with that?
Sure, I will.
News, yeah. It just was released this week.
I am,
Yeah.
My hero was Neil. Everyone knows this. Neil had a best writing buddy, Michael Mosbach, who is anyone who would have known him during the touring years would have known him as Praetorian. He was the guy who rode with Neil everywhere while they were on tour, became really good friends with Neil. He has been recently, and I think unexpectedly, diagnosed with brain cancer. So, first of all, my thoughts go out to him. I've not ever met him in person. I have seen him when he walked right by me during the Clockwork Angels tour. He was walking right by me when I was in the front. He seems like a real nice guy, and I have talked to him a couple times just through like on Facebook and stuff. And I love how he's always thrown himself into any and everything that happens with Rush or Neil. They do the Bubba Bash up in Pennsylvania. He's at all those. He supports all those. He's just a really, really good guy. And I have a special connection to him just because of his love for and his protectiveness of Neil. And so I'm really, really, really concerned about this. He's got brain cancer. So I want everyone to keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And I do think Tim Starris, I don't know how you say
Starachi. I think it's Starachi.
Starachi.
I believe.
He's with Why Not. He's a phenomenal bass player and a great dude. He is real good friends with him, and he set up a GoFundMe. And if you can give and help Michael out, that's great. If you can't, that's okay too. Just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. God, I just happened once already with Neil, and then it happening right now with Michael is just too much for my mind to really grasp right now. But I hate to start this on a somber note, but that
well, and then stack that up with Pete Pardo. I mean, there's too much of this going around.
It's bad.
It's certainly cause for a raised eyebrow and concern, but in all that aside, yes, absolutely, to echo what you just said, keep Michael and his family in your prayers. Michael, if you happen to watch this, we send our prayers to you, my friend. If anyone out there has read any of Neil's books that cover touring activities, and he was without Brutus during those activities, you're going to hear about Michael. He's in the majority of those books,
particularly the Far and Away, Near and Far. Though that series of books, Michael's all over them because Michael is who was writing with Neil when he did all of those. So yep. He's a big influence and factor in Neil's later life, and so and they were great friends. And so I'm really upset and sad about it. And like you said, it's cause to go, what is going on here? That's crazy. But let's just keep the course, and everybody keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And if you can help him, then do so.
Please, every little bit helps. You can give $1 if that's all you have.
Anything to help him out. So
All right, we got a few little news items here. Cruise to the Edge was announced this week, and the reason I want to talk about this is, first of all, unfortunately, you will never, ever get me on a cruise ship, ever. It's not happening in this lifetime. Maybe in the afterlife, not Not in this life, pal. You will never get me on a cruise ship, even when they have this lineup. Let me get back to the window I was.
Unreal.
Kansas. The Kansas, Steve Hackett, big train in Asia. If that was it, that would be worth the price of admission. But you also have Haken, Pendragon, The Deer Hunter, Neil Morrison, The Resonance, Von Hertzen Brothers, Caligula's Horse. It gets hard to read here. Temec, Crownlands, Spock's Beard.
Oh, yeah.
Moon Safari, Lunatic Soul, Jane Gedder Premonition, who I have recently discovered. I absolutely adore Jane Gedder. Very, very talented guitarist. Very prog fusion kind of vibe to her stuff. Go seek out Jane Gedder if you don't know about her. Voyage 35, Thank You Scientist, Rendezvous Point, Osric Tentacles.
That's unreal.
Cheetos Magazine, Lori Basio, Gaspacho, Mike Keneally, and Beer for Dolphins. Haunt the Woods, Dave Curitan, Dave Kersner and Friends.
Yeah.
Spafford, Marvin, Dim Gray, Gabriel Agudo.
Just listen to that lineup.
That's nuts. That is completely
prog rock heaven. Just like, my God.
Whoever came up with putting all of those people on the same boat, I get the attraction of going on one of those cruises. I truly do, because, for the price of probably 6 complete concerts that you would buy in the real world, you can see 6 times that many.
All of them. And hang out with them.
And I mean, I get it. I just will never go on a boat. One other item we got here, Yes, this week announced a full concert featuring the Relayer lineup, marking its 50th anniversary. Yes celebrates the 50th anniversary of one of its most storied performances on July the 17th, with live at Roosevelt Stadium, Jersey City, 17 June of 1976. This album's first official release arrives on the heels of their new studio album, Aurora, which will be coming June 12th, very soon. There are various versions of that, CD, LP, etc. And again, that's the Relayer lineup. This is a recording that's been heavily bootlegged over the years, and of pretty good quality, the bootlegs. But the bits that I've heard of this official release that's coming out are just really, really good. So if you're into that era of Yes and want a really nice live document, this would be where you'd go to get it. So that's coming up.
That's awesome.
All right. That's the news bits for today. And we are going to move on to the Rock in Rio package that Rush released. I believe this was 2002.
And it's called Russian Rio.
Yeah. What did I say?
Rock in Rio.
I did say Rock in Rio. Sorry.
Well, they did Rock in Rio.
Something completely different. Rush in Rio.
They rocked in Rio. They sure did.
Yes, they did. Rush in Rio. Thank you for correcting me, because I would have been kicking myself later.
That's what I'm here to do, is always correct you when you go wrong.
Yeah, please do. It's a dirty job too. So this is a video thing that came out. I think it actually was released in 2004.
It was actually released in 2003.
Okay.
But it's from the final night of the Vapor Trails tour, which was in 2002, and it was from Maracanã Stadium in Rio de Janeiro. And it's wow. It's there's a lot of pros and some major cons on it that we need to discuss.
It's a real fun watch, because it's, particularly in YYZ and La Via Strangiato, when you see the entire stadium bouncing
and singing to an instrumental, singing the instrumental. It's unreal.
And oddly, for a Rush live album, you see, just for a faint few seconds, you actually see some women with partially exposed breasts. It's astounding. You never see this stuff and by partially exposed, I mean, just cleavage or whatever. But
I
it
think
goes
that
by so
alone
fast.
should have made them go, we need to go back to South America
Yeah.
more often.
It's
That's
a
hilarious.
wonderful thing to watch. The production that tour was awesome. The set list was extremely good.
That's one of the biggest pros for me of this is the set list. This set list on this is just about as good a set list as you can get, given what we knew they would play. I mean, obviously, as big, huge Rush fans would love to see a whole bunch of deep cuts, but you're not going to get that when you're going when you're you know when they're going on tour. They're going to try to appeal to a large audience. But
Right.
for the fact that they're appealing to a large audience, their set list here is crafted masterfully, in my opinion. It's just fantastic. Has one of
Yeah.
my favorite songs in all musicdom in the past. They played it live. It's just, here, I'll look at it.
And what
Bravado.
song is that? Oh, love
No,
Bravado.
I said The Pass is one of my favorite.
Oh, The Pass. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they
I'll
also
agree.
play Bravado. They play one of my single favorite Rush song, Natural Science. Now, one of the cons, and you and I've talked about this, they screw up.
Yeah.
They don't, and they did this in later times. They did it on Snakes and Arrows and all sorts. I don't know why they did this, but they altered the structure of the song Natural Science. They took
I
out one of
hate it.
I don't like it either. I don't like what they did to it. I don't know why they didn't just play it. The version on Permanent Waves is perfect. I don't know why you
Yeah.
would change it in any way, shape, or form, but they did. That said, even the version I don't care for of Natural Science is still Natural Science, and so I love
Mm-hmm.
it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
on here. Ghost Rider, Secret Touch, Driven. I mean, I could just go on and on. 2112. I mean, it's just La Via Strangiato, Bytor and the Snow Dog and Cygnus X1 and Working Man in a medley. I mean, you just can't go wrong with the set list on this.
Well, and the performances are so good in spite of the really lousy sound quality.
There's your biggest con of all.
Yeah. The performances are so good that, they did Vapor Trails, and Vapor Trails is the one Rush album that I still to this day have never really warmed to. But when I hear those songs performed live,
Mm-hmm.
I understand the power of them. I'm really surprised they didn't just go back into the studio and re-record the entire album live as a band the way they were playing. At least the songs that they were playing live in the studio where things could be controlled. You could do it really fast, if they were rehearsed up for those songs on a tour anyway. But I mean, it's clear, the songs from that record that are on there, things like Earthshine, which I love that song, but the arrangement irritates me. They
were never going to play my favorite song on Vapor Trail, and that's Freeze.
Right.
So yeah, they were never going to play that. I never thought that had a snowball's chance in hell of making a set list. So, but I like that album. I like that album apparently way more than you do.
Well, it just didn't speak to me. I recognize its quality and I recognize the care that went into crafting it. And it's clearly a Rush album. And there are a few standout tracks. It just never grabbed me for some reason. And I don't really have a reason. It seems like every artist that I love, there's always that one album that just everybody else loves or at least likes, and it just never.
Well, I have a question for you, and this is not Rush related, but I'm curious now. That's an interesting statement, and I know how much you love Kansas. What's your Kansas album that just doesn't grab you that everybody loves? Do you have one? And I know it's not Rush related, but I've got to know now. I know how much you love Kansas.
That's hard. That's really hard because I love Kansas.
I know. That's why I asked you.
My top three bands are ELP. Well, the greatest band ever is the Beatles. Not in my favorites. They're not in my top favorites, but clearly the greatest rock band ever is the Beatles. Everything springs from there to me.
Okay.
My top three are Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Kansas, and Rush in that order.
Okay.
And Kansas it's hard for me to pick an album that I can't really get into. Now that I've said that,
I'm just curious.
If I had to pick one, it would likely be Drastic Measures. Okay. And I love that. I do. I love that album. It's just that it became less Kansas at that point.
Sure.
It was more Elefante and his brother, and who are fine writers. Don't get me wrong, I love their stuff. John's solo stuff is, if you've never checked it out, it's exceptionally good.
Okay.
But I don't. There's certain things on that album. There's a bunch of great stuff, mainstream, and it might. I would have to give it some more thought. Maybe I'll get back to you on that.
Well,
Let's put a pin on it. It,
I'm
it
gonna I'm gonna give you a pass here, because I'm gonna tell you that I don't really love Vapor Trails for the album. I do like the album, but I think that being that they're my favorite band, I think my love for it stems from what it stood for much more than
oh sure.
I thought they were dead and gone. And so when they came back with this, it could have been Jimmy Crack Corn for 2 hours on a disc, and I would have been like, yes, it's Rush playing. I'd
Yep.
really at that point, and still today, I have that album. It holds its place in my heart because of what it stood for more than the songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, anyone who knows anything about Rush knows the problems that they had with that album, trying to see what they were going to do. They didn't like the way it sounded. It took forever because I think they trashed a bunch of stuff when they first wrote it. I think it was very, very a big struggle for them. And the songwriting on it, when you compare it to the rest of their catalog, is not all that great. It really isn't. It's them trying to find their way again. And you can see that and hear it. But
Well, and
it's meant they were back. So
it's that point is only emphasized by the better quality of the albums that came after it.
right.
They had to figure out how to do things again. Neil's DNA was different after what he went through. There was no, it was always going to be a bit of a grind. But yeah, that's one of those albums. It's the one Rush album, other than Feedback, which I got to tell you, I've never listened to since I bought it. I recognize
if you
I
just
recognize it's their influences, and they're wearing their influences on their sleeve there, and I don't have a problem. That's great. It's fun, wonderful. It's fun. I do like the Summertime Blues version on there, but it's not something I've ever returned to listen. I don't really count it among Rush albums, to be honest. But among their original projects where they wrote music for, Vapor Trails is the odd man out for me. It's just
I understand. I mean, and
and
that's not an uncommon opinion, And this was the Vapor Trails tour, and I mean,
right.
you see, they played Earthshine, they played Ghost Rider, Secret Touch, and what's the other one they played? One Little Victory. I mean,
One
that's
Little
not that
Victory
many
is the winner
songs
off
on the
that
album
album.
for it to be the album that you're playing. This is your tour. You played 4 songs from it. I mean, I'm not sure they felt all that great about the album. I just think they were like, we're back, and this is great. It's great that we're back.
Well, there was something similar with Kansas too when the Prelude Implicit came out. I don't know how they managed to keep that record completely quiet. Even in the proliferation of the internet days, that thing was kept nearly. You heard? I heard nothing about it until, I'm not kidding you, like the week before it came out.
Really?
They managed to keep it very quiet, and it was like, whoa, a new Kansas album? Are you kidding me? This is like 20 years since the previous one.
Right.
And not just another album, another really, really good album.
Right. Oh no,
With,
Prelude Implicit. Like when they came back, and those 2 albums, the most 2 recent ones. Oh my God.
yeah.
I mean, and that's funny because you get this. Well, they're an older band, and they're past their prime, and they're not going to come out with anything great. We're hearing it right now with a bunch of people with regard to Yes. Oh, it's a shell of what they were. Well, those 2 albums are phenomenal albums,
Yep.
and you would not expect, given what the common perception is about older bands past their prime, not making any relevant or good material in their later years. Well, that ain't the case with Kansas, man. Those 2 albums are fantastic. They're just really good. So
when you read Phil's book, as we have, and we've mentioned in a previous episode, go find that if you want to hear about that.
Awesome.
Kansas is a band, and a band plays the music with the required passion and respect, and they do. The musicians who are currently in that. I saw somebody post a real pithy post on Facebook this morning about they had gone to see Kansas this morning, and they were a little bit miffed because there were no original members on that stage. And I said, really, if that concerns you so much, stay home and listen to the records with all six of the original guys
what
playing
the records are there for. If you don't want to, if you can't handle the fact that they're touring with no original members, then listen to the original members. That's why you have the records. That's why they're there. You know,
yep.
It's unreal. But
yeah,
let's digress and back. This is a great snapshot of their first foray into South America, and the pros of it, in my opinion, are the set list and the crowd. And you can very clearly tell that they are very energetic because the crowd has them energized. So I imagine in that venue, this was just otherworldly. But this is mixed and mastered terribly. It sounds very bad. I don't like the way this sounds at all.
There is nothing about this mix to like. Absolutely nothing. And I try never to be negative. I try never to be ultra critical about things. But when we first started talking about doing these live albums and it came to Rush in RIO, I went, oh, okay. I haven't watched or listened to that in many, many years. Yep. Well, now I remember why.
You got to remind yourself every once in a while. I remember why.
It sounds like Alex's monitor mix. The guitars are way too compressed and way too affected and way too distorted. Everything is just it no matter how low you turn it down, it still sounds like it's cranked. And that tells me that it's over compressed. You have one of, if not the best drummer who's ever walked the planet. Yep. I can't hear his drums half the time. And by hear his drums, I'm talking about in comparison to other of their live albums, particularly more recent things. The drums are rich and round and full sounding, and you can hear the tonalities of the drums.
Yep.
I don't know what happened. I don't have to know what happened. I'm not going to point any fingers. Right. But to my ears, and I have to say, I approached that judgment with a little bit of trepidation because I know of your fandom for Rush. Sure. And I didn't want to say anything bad about it, but you offered it up before I even had a chance to say anything.
Truth. I mean,
it does not sound
like
good.
A duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And this does not sound good.
It doesn't.
So this deserves so much better sound-wise than it is.
Yeah.
As you said, Neil is my hero. I mean, he is. And he's my number one hero in the world. And this is just a miserable not interpretation, a miserable snapshot of his sound that night. I guarantee you in the arena, it did not sound that like that, but it died. And I'm with you. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it sounds like this.
Well, I will offer some thoughts, some hunches possibly. I know that the Brazilian dates were fraught with technical issues.
Yeah.
That apparently the final show almost didn't go off because there was an enormous rainstorm the day before, and they had trouble getting stuff there, and everything was soaking wet. They were unable to do a sound check. If I'm remembering correctly from the documentary, which is the reason to buy the package.
Yes, that's one of the big pros of it.
The Boys in Brazil is a wonderful little documentary about those shows and the end of that tour. And it's a lot of fun. Alex is his usual giddy, silly self, and that's worth the price of admission, even if you never listen to or watch Rush in RIO. The Boys in Brazil is definitely worth watching. It's a lot of fun.
It is. It's a fantastic snapshot by the late great Andrew McNaughton.
Yes, yeah. It has that feel of someone who was able to get close to the band without them really even realizing they were there. And
absolutely,
he came away with some fantastic footage. So yeah. that's worth the price of admission.
Well, I would add that in the pros category. It's
absolutely
the documentary on it's fantastic. So,
if you're a completist, you have to have it.
Oh, absolutely.
I've actually been eyeballing that R50 Blu-ray box set. It's become rather expensive, but it has that in it.
R40 Blu-ray box set.
It was the R40 one. Yeah, where it's
got
about basically
to go on the 50 something right now.
Right. it's I've got that one on the brain for
Well, for
obvious
obvious
reasons.
reasons,
Now that
they're
now
about
that
to
the
start.
now that the
Yeah.
live dates are looming, it's kind of on my brain.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I've been eyeballing that package because there's some stuff that you can't get anywhere else that's in that box. Well, one of the things we're going to have to cover in this series is the Grace Under Pressure tour recordings, which actually came out quite a bit after.
Yeah.
In terms of other than the VHS, which came out like a year later. The recent.
You know what? Hold on, real quick. I want to go back for a second.
Mm.
You are talking. You're right. But you're not talking about the tour. You're talking about R50, which is that huge box that they did release like a year ago, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that is called R50.
Well,
It's
that's
just
what
not,
yeah.
I was thinking you were talking about the tour, which would have been R40. You're
No, I was talking about the
this
Blu-ray package
okay,
with
yeah.
every
My
video
brother
they
got
ever.
that, and I got to have a look at it. That thing is awesome. You got to get that if you're if you're so inclined. It's very expensive.
Yeah,
but
it's pricey.
but it's got everything you could want in it. It's really cool.
I'll ask Santa for it.
That's a good way to get it. Yeah.
yeah. I'll ask Santa. Santa.
Hey, can I have this?
But the Grace Under Pressure tour thing is, I wore that VHS out when it came out. I mean, I had it, and quite literally, I wore it out until it had to be thrown away. It wouldn't work anymore.
Wow.
And so I know every frame of that original one. And when they came out with the new one, I got really excited because I'm like, oh, great. All of those other songs from the set will be in there. And I really like all of those, but they changed a lot of the cues. There are certain video cues, certain visual cues that I know. I've seen them so many times that I know.
And they're not there now.
And they're either completely different or they're not there. So I'm not sure what happened with the expansion of the Grace Under Pressure tour video. It does not suffer from the sound quality issues. The mix is very good, although there are some definite sync issues in that video where you'll see Neil playing along, and then you hear a fill that he's doing, and his hands are in the right place. Things of that nature, just sort of rookie mistakes, I guess. But
we'll need to discuss that one, and we'll also at some point need to discuss. This one's very near and dear to me, and that is the Clockwork Angels tour.
Yeah, because you are actually in that.
About right there on this.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm standing right there.
Now,
in that show.
when you went to Chicago to see that show, did you know they were going to be recording when you went?
They recorded that in Dallas, not in Chicago.
Oh, I thought you had gone to see it in Chicago.
I saw the R30 tour in Chicago.
That's what it was. Okay, I'm getting my stories mixed up.
Yes.
And those are
we actually bought our tickets for Dallas, and we're like right in the front row area, and did not know until like a couple of weeks before they're filming Dallas for the Clockwork Angels DVD. And my friend Ryan and I were like, oh my God. so this is my personal archive of this show, because I was there. It's so awesome.
That's a tour that was with the string section, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I did not see that tour.
Oh, it was great. That was great. We got a special. I know we're not talking about Rush In RIO right now, but I got to say about this. This was really cool because they were filming this and they knew it. So they had always been, okay, we're going to play these songs from Clockwork Angels, and then the next night we'll drop these two and we'll play these two. And then they were doing that. That night they played the entire album except for, I think, BU to B2, because they were like, well, we're recording it so we got the entire Clockwork Angels album that night.
Nice.
it was awesome. It was so
nice. Very cool.
Oh, it was so wonderful. Oh, it's one of my favorites
See, now I got to go and rewatch it. We did not go to that tour because we saw it was really close to the Time Machine tour. I mean, it was like less than a year, and they went back out with that. So
yes, that's correct. They did do that. So
I think we skipped it. We saw Snakes and Arrows, though. That was a great show because I remember they played Entre Nous on that tour, which
they sure did.
I mentioned it this weekend when you did the Prog Corner. I mentioned it in the chat. Permanent Waves is to me is their masterpiece. It's where all of their various approaches kind of met at one wonderful apex. It's proggy, but it's punchy. It's that's and Entre Nous is such a great song. I think and it was just it hinted at where they would head as songwriters.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday on the Prog Corner. Someone had said they didn't play Entre Nous. They would expect to see maybe Entre Nous live, on this new tour because they had never played that before. And I was like, wrong. They had played it. They played it on Snakes and Arrows.
Wrong. Well, and it's funny too because Getty did interviews at the time of R40 claiming that they had never played Jacob's Ladder live. Yes, they did.
Yes, you did.
I was there for the 1980 tour, buddy. You did play that one.
And people forget all the time. Especially a band that played as live as often as they did. You forget. So some.
Oh yeah. So Getty gets a pass.
Yeah.
So anyway, Rush in Rio. It's a mixed bag, folks. It really is.
Still get it. You should still have it. A good set list.
It's a fun watch. It's really fun. They were clearly having a good time. Lurk's cracking people up in his that tour during La Via Strangiato. He would do this nightly improvised bit, and somewhere on YouTube there's like a 2-hour cut of all his improvised bits.
I gotta go watch that. I've not seen that.
It's hilarious. Some of them are way out there, but it was different every night. It was just off the top of his crazy head. And that's a lot of fun. There are reasons to have it, and there are reasons to watch it. It's just that in our considered opinions, folks, the sound is not one of those reasons, unfortunately.
I'm going to agree with you. The sound is an issue, but not enough of an issue to skip it. You need to watch it.
You can watch it. Fiddle around with the settings on your stereo, and you might find some. I've got a surround system that. No matter what I did, it just sounded.
It just didn't do it. It just couldn't do it. Yeah. I understand. It's
anyway.
Still fun to watch, though. So.
Right.
All right, man.
So I think that's all we have to say about Rush in Rio. If you want to know anything about Myth of Logic, believe me, we're out there in your face on all available antisocial platforms. You can find us. If you're interested in high-quality bandwidth downloads or autographed CDs, you can find those at Bandcamp. Also, there are a couple of places you can go for Myth of Logic CDs. Ken Golden, our good friend Ken Golden over at Laser CD, he has The Memory of After and Light at the End in stock and ready to ship. Also, our other good friends, Sven and Rita over at Bandwagon USA, they have the entire catalog available. And you can buy the whole wad at a special price. I think it's still on sale over there. But anyway,
and buy them as whole. Buy the elite. Buy The Memory of After is its own concept album. Buy the first 3 together. They are one full-on 3 album concept. So make sure you buy them all and listen to them all.
And set aside 4 hours to digest it all.
Yeah, we're asking a lot there, but you know what? It's great stuff.
Well, for today, and also don't forget, Mr. Christopher has his album of the day on Facebook. Go over and find him, like and follow and all of that, because it's very educational. He has a vast library of unusual stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else. And he's going to send you down a rabbit hole, like it or not, in search of some of this stuff. But
it's good stuff. You'll like it, or you won't.
You
should give it a try.
So once again, folks, I am Scott G. Davis. Next to me is my good friend, Mr. Christopher Clark. And today we have been fantastic.
Always fantastic.
Always fantastic.
Nothing less.
So until we are together again, be good to one another.